So Freaky is the latest horror comedy from Blumhouse, and yeah, we're gonna talk about it. So let's get into it. Hello friends, and welcome back to the Brockopp side, a place for those who live talking by movies. With all that being said, go ahead and comment down below what you thought about this movie. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Have you actually seen the movie yet? I don't know, it comes out tomorrow, so you might want to come back later for that part. So this movie was directed by Christopher Landon, the same guy that gave us Happy Death Day 1 and 2, and is basically Freaky Friday, but instead of a mom and her daughter, it's a serial killer and a teenage girl. So of course, some body swapping shenanigans occur. They gotta reverse the curse before midnight, and yeah, some kills. Some very, very brutal kills. And when you're doing one of these body-swapping type movies, it only really works if you have two strong leads in the main roles, which this movie does with Vince Vaughn and Catherine Newton, especially with Catherine Newton, because it's really fun to see her go from this, quiet, timid teenage girl who gets bullied all the time, to when she's got the serial killer in her body, and she's got this really confident body language, and she's got this really evil look in her eyes, like, haha, you're next, bitch boy. And after a while, it was a lot scarier seeing Catherine Newton kill people as opposed to Vince Vaughn killing people. So I think Catherine Newton has a very strong presence as far as horror leads go, and I also hope we see more of her in future horror films. It's not too late. How about you throw her into Scream 5 real quick? It's still filming. You can write her in there. Please? And like one would expect, Vince Vaughn is running around the movie pretending to be a teenage girl for the majority of it, and probably the easiest comparison I could make is Jack Black in the Jumanji movies, because there it's a teenage girl trapped inside a dude's body, just like in this movie. But here, Vince Vaughn's performance I felt was a bit more toned down, and a little more realistic than Jack Black. Jack Black, for the sake of that movie, played it up a lot more, doing some more cliche stuff like, oh, I can't even with this place. Instagram. And with Vince Vaughn in this movie, you could actually believe there is a teenage girl inside of Vince Vaughn. Okay, that came out wrong. Don't take that the wrong way. Okay, but all jokes aside, you can believe that Vince Vaughn is a teenage girl trapped inside a serial killer's body. And some of the best moments from the movie are when Catherine Newton's crush on the football team gets involved with all the body swapping shenanigans, and the usual high school teenage romance stuff starts to ensue, but with Vince Vaughn, not Catherine Newton, which leads to some of the funniest moments in the entire movie. I don't want to spoil it for you, but all those moments where, it's Vince Vaughn and, the high school crush, those were the parts where the theater was just absolutely dying laughing. It was the funniest part of the entire movie. And what I really like about this movie is the fact that it blends the horror elements and the comedy elements very well. It's something that Christopher Landon has definitely nailed with Happy Death Day 1 and 2 and brings it into this movie. He knows how to take this one extreme tone with the horror and the gore and the violence, and then this extreme tone with the humor and the high schoolisms, and just makes them come together so well so they don't feel like a major departure from one another, from one scene to the next. And there are a few things about this movie you could nitpick, like how it kind of follows a lot of high school movie cliches, like, oh, I'm an above average looking teenage girl, but the cute football player won't notice me, and ew, high school is hell. But for me, as long as you can take those cliches and package them into an overall enjoyable movie, that's totally okay with me, and that's exactly what happened here. So overall, I had an absolute blast with this movie. It was a lot of fun, it was a little bit scary, and overall, I just really enjoyed this movie. It really makes me hope we get a Happy Death Day 3 sometime down the road, which, it's in the early stages of development, so we could see that at some point, but yeah, if we can get more horror comedies like this from Blumhouse and Christopher Landon, that'd be pretty cool. So if you want to see some more videos from me like this, you can check out this playlist right over here. And if you want to see what YouTube recommends you watch from me next, you can check out that video right down there. And of course, subscribe if you live talking by movies, and we'll see you on the Brockopp. See ya. Oh no, indeed.